are every Sunday.
Sundays.
That's what I said.
Yes,
Sunday.
you did a great job.
For the first time.
You did.
In many weeks. We're here every Sunday, folks, from 3 to 4. And
302.
Huh?
302.
302. Well, anybody ever really start at 3 these days? Don't they start a couple minutes after because commercials and all that?
No, we do the commercials the bottom.
No, I know we do.
No, a lot of the shows they'll do the top and the bottom of the hours and stuff. Yeah.
So anyway, folks, we're here every Sunday. We are a reason to call. Our number is 757-488-5299, 757-488-5299. The purpose of our show has always been to have thought-provoking conversations that inspire change and build the kingdom.
Or we can talk about Christmas.
Hopefully that will be a thought-provoking conversation.
This may be our last live for the year. We're not here next week. So they should call today.
You're here on the 29th.
Yeah, no, I said this May. I'm supposed to be, but you never know what could happen.
Is the rapture coming?
Sure.
Because let me tell you, I'm ready.
I'm
ready. I'm ready. We were talking about that in church. Advent, today was the third Sunday. It's the Pink Sunday, Gaudet Sunday, Rejoice Sunday. And we read in Luke to repent, for the time is near. And he's referring about the first coming of Jesus Christ. And in the Bible, we also read about the second coming of Jesus Christ. But as I was walking in the door, I realized, and I was trying to contemplate it, that when Jesus comes in the sky, for me, it will be his third coming.
I mean, technically, you're right.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be his second physical coming to the earth. But for an individual Christian, the first was being born, suffering for our sins, dying, resurrection.
Yep.
The second is when we welcomed him into our lives.
Oh, I thought you were actually talking about like 3 days.
No, I'm talking about him coming into my heart and into my life, changing me.
Okay.
My born again, quote unquote, experience. So the third time is when he comes in the sky and gathers us home.
That's good. I mean, I get the thinking.
Well, it does get you thinking, because a lot of times people, and I went through this today in the church I was serving at, great group of people, that my question to them was, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Would somebody surrounding you know that you're a Christian, not because you said so, not because of the things you say, but because of what you do? If you were reading Luke today, as many people, many congregations across the area did,
Luke 15 today,
it was very, very interesting in Luke chapter 3, where John the Baptist is saying, repent. The kingdom's at hand. The people said to him, what should we do? Not what should we believe? Not what should we think? But what should we do? And John leads a thread that we hear throughout the Gospels. If you have 2 coats, give one. If you know somebody without food, give them food. This is echoed by Jesus, and it's consolidated by Paul in James, Paul in Ephesians.
Yep.
For by grace are you saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God, lest any man should boast. But then we hear in James, faith without works is dead.
I don't think he means it like that, but I'll never know.
Well, by faith without works, meaning if it's not a saving faith, if it doesn't
Right.
change you,
That's just that. Now that I agree with.
that's
yes.
what he's saying.
Right. That's
You
exactly
are
right.
going to see a change. If a person was an alcoholic and they become saved, you're going to see a change in them. Does it mean that they immediately become sober? No. But do they have a desire and an intent to become sober? 757-488-5299, 757-488-5299. You had something you wanted to say?
I was going to say like there should be an immediate intent, yes, but people are they're gonna fall, they're gonna mess up.
Well, of course.
They're gonna come
But
back.
how do they change?
By wanting to.
No, if they fall, are they sad?
Well, of course.
Or do they repent?
Yes.
See, before, if they felt they didn't give a crap, that was just who I am.
Right. Exactly. So there's
I'm just a drunkard. What do you expect from me?
But I would say like if you give your life to Christ and you're like, I'm changing my life, you don't automatically go out and drink that night. That's not giving your life to Christ. That's not trying to change.
It's the intent that leads to an action.
Correct.
We start with a belief, and if that belief does not motivate us to change, then what is our faith? What is it? Is it a saving faith? No, it doesn't do anything. But so this is why John said, give a coat. So it's why I ask folks who are listening right now, would the people around you know that you're a Christian? If you had never said anything, would they know? I put in the list today, this one that I'm going to fall guilty of. I'll tell you right now. Not only should we, give one coat if we have two, give people food if we have and they have none.
You've never done that. How dare you?
Yeah, but also when we go ahead and we look at, and here's one that I threw on, notice it also tells the military people to be content with their wages.
Oh, no, hold up.
Yeah, no, I'm sure there's many people out there who are not content with their wages.
No one's content with their wages, but don't.
Oh, I'm sure there are people.
But I think that's a twist. I think that's a twist.
Well,
because the Romans took. The Romans weren't.
No, that was what he talked about in the tax collectors.
Right, but the tax collectors.
He told them, do not extort from other people. Be content with your wages.
I think that's what he was talking about to the Romans too. Like, don't steal from the Jews.
It's fine, but the point being, as I threw in, bless those around you. Don't curse them or cuss them.
No, you should do that, of course.
Can you? But it's not do it, Frady. You're missing my point. Can other people tell you are Christian by the way you live?
No, that part I get that part.
That's where I'm pointing out these things that I fail at. Other people fail at.
We're all gonna fail though.
That's the point. Can people tell you are a Christian by the way we live?
I already know my answer. Yes.
757-488-5299. Now I can call you on the table. People would say, how can you be a Christian and DJ? You've heard that how many
I hear it all the time. Doesn't mean people don't know. I'm not. I mean,
but the people around you would say you're not a Christian because you DJ.
Stop it. I mean, they say it, and
but that's what we're talking about.
Okay,
random strangers.
But I don't. I mean, yes, I DJ weddings and private events.
And would they consider you a Christian?
I mean, I DJ parties and events all the time. There's nothing. I did a party.
I'm not saying there's a problem. I'm not attacking.
Oh, I know you're not. I'm answering the question for those people who would say he's playing secular music. How dare he? The same people.
Well, I don't know anybody who would complain about secular music. I would think they would complain about the drinking.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that goes on.
But I can't. Those people are going to do that regardless. I mean,
should we? Hey, I can remember in the 80s, folks, for those of you around, how many of you heard the big fiasco about contemporary Christian music and rock Christian music? And you know what? Look at what we have today, and those people were very prophetic.
We got Skillet today. I love them.
They're very prophetic. People are more wrapped up in the music than they are in the Bible.
The lead singer of Skillet is probably more Christian than me.
I don't know whose skill it
I
is.
forget his. Oh, it's a rock group.
I have
Christian rock
don't
group.
know. I don't listen.
He does a podcast. I forget his name.
Okay.
I can't think of it. Someone give us a call. 757-488-5299. Tell me his name.
757-488-5299. So the question is, folks, would the people around you know that you're a Christian? If Jesus were to come again right now, where would you be? And here's the thing. John the Baptist said, give the coat, give the food. Matthew 25, we're going to be separated as unto sheep and goats. Do you feed people? Do you give beverage, drink to those who are thirsty? Do you visit those in prison and in hospitals? Do you remember that whole list? And then we will be separated in one group, welcome into heaven, and the other half depart from me, for you never knew me. And they're going to say, Lord, Lord, when did we? Because when you've done this unto the least of my brother, you've done it unto me. Remember, folks, that's about judgment. Right then and there. It's not about how many times you go to church on Sunday. It's not about how many committees or groups you're involved with in church. In fact, pastors, it's not even about you pastoring the church. That right there is a base level definition of a follower of Christ.
We're going there today, and I'm loving every second of it. I want someone to give us a call if they don't think they are. Don't give us your name. I don't care. Don't tell me your name. 757-488-5299. And that's not trying to call anyone out. And I won't call you out if you call us. But yeah, I would love if someone's doing some self-reflecting right now based on what the comments Tim has made about what would constitute as a Christian, things we're doing from John and all that, from Luke 3. Luke 3, yeah. And yeah, give us a call, 757-488-5299, and go based off of that. No, I'm not giving an extra coat. No, I'm not feeding the homeless. No, I'm not visiting. I mean, I could say, like I said, we want to talk to you about it. We want to know why. What can we do to help you change that?
Here's the thing, folks. I'm going to tell you that Freddie knows. I literally sat down at the microphone the moment the show started.
That's why we started at 3:02.
It was the first time ever that I have been late for the show.
I don't know ever, but since we came back in a while, yeah.
Never have I been that close.
No,
unless I wasn't coming.
Yeah, never that close. No.
Okay.
True.
Here's the thing, folks. After I gave my sermon this morning, I was tied up with a line of people wanting to discuss the sermon and to be prayed for.
And that's the way it should be. Amen to that.
Because, listen, one of the sermons that I do now, folks, here's something that's weird about me. I speak at all different denominations.
All different. I've seen them do it.
And when I do it, I'm conscious of the difference of beliefs that I may have personally versus the universal beliefs that we all have as Christians, I hope. And one of the sermons that I'm known for is, do you believe? That's what I put it. And everybody wonders, well, yeah, I believe, in the Father, God Almighty, if you say the creeds or your little list that you have in the church that you put on cards or on your website. But that's not what I ask. My question is, do you believe what your website says you believe?
Oh, that's the one I've heard you do. Yes. Okay.
Because you look at your website and it tells you, we believe in hell. We believe that the unsaved will go there. We believe this. We believe this. And I say, if you believe that, then how come there are all these empty seats in your church?
That's not always their fault.
Yes, it is. Because if they believe it, they would be bringing every family member. They would be working on every cousin. They would be working on aunt and uncle, because we would not want any of our family to go there.
Who says they're not, though?
If they're not going to, if they don't have saving faith,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. You would ask all your coworkers. I'm just as guilty.
No.
Are you spreading the gospel?
I can say yes, and I still don't get people to come to church. You can only do so much. You can only put the seeds out there. That's in that response. I'm not defending myself. I fall short all the time. But like I know I ask people to come to church at least once a week. So I ask at least one person a week. I have coworkers who ask people to come to church all the time.
Once a week? Why not once a day?
I said at least once a week.
Okay, at least once a week. Why not that week every day?
You're right. I should. I'm not saying
but
I
that's
shouldn't.
what I'm trying to say, Frady. This is an attack against you. It's not an attack against anyone.
No,
it's saying if we believe what our church's website says, it would be packed out.
See, I'm not saying it's an attack on anyone. I'm disagreeing in that response because we can only do so much. We can only preach to them. We can only.
It's not we who do anything at all.
Right.
We just plant the seed and God reaps the harvest.
Right. Correct. That's my point. When God puts it on their heart to show, we just keep doing the motions.
I'm not arguing that point.
Okay.
But I'm putting it on the whole church. The whole church should be full by that point. Because everybody should be working together.
757-488-5299. Give us a call. Tell us what you think about that comment from Tim. I can't fault it. I can't argue it. I don't know if I don't know if the church would be full because of it, but I can't fault the logic.
Here's the thing. All of us in our family have people who flirt with sin.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How many of us would rather walk the road of non-confrontation and let them continue to flirt with sin because we don't want to fight over the holidays?
Oh, there's tons of Christians that do that. I will not defend that point.
Okay.
I mean, I won't defend it for their doing
Then
well.
I ask, do you believe that those same people that you're not willing to have fights with are going to be in heaven or hell?
I think they're going to be in hell. That's why I'm going to fight for them.
And then, therefore, why aren't these people fighting for them and with them?
I agree. I do agree. There are more people sitting in church every day today who would rather not, like you're right, not fight and cause conservation than Christians sitting in church like me. I know I'd rather fight. I fight like hell. Pun intended. And because I'm okay with confrontation. That's just who I am. I'd rather know you're going to heaven than sit back and not do anything. But you are correct. There are a bunch of believers out there who won't, and they don't, and it's a shame. It really is.
And then my question is, how strong is your saving faith?
That's for someone to determine themselves, I guess.
Because wouldn't the Spirit motivate you to do everything you can for every family member to be in heaven?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And if the Spirit doesn't motivate you, is it because you shut it off?
I would say yes.
And then therefore I question how well your walk is.
Right. I would agree.
Our number 757-488-5299. That's 757-488-5299. So when I preached the sermon today, an exhortation type sermon, a call to the people to wake up, I had a number of people that came up to me afterwards, and I used some of the things that happened at Five Loaves as examples to these people. I truly believe, and I am so proud of the volunteers that we have at the pantry, because they are truly living the gospel every day they volunteer. There is no other motivation for them to be there other than wanting to feed people. That's it. See, I constantly get, well, that's what we do. We feed people too. Yeah, but you're paid to do it. Well, yeah, but it's still my ministry. Yeah, but you're paid to do it. Well, tell you what, if you weren't being paid, well, I need to be paid. I can't live otherwise. You've proven my point.
I get that argument, but I also there's ways around it. I mean,
No, there isn't. They're there because they're getting paid.
I'm talking to them, not you.
Okay.
I'm talking. There's ways they'll get paid and still do the ministry.
And they are doing the ministry. Don't argue me, but they're argue with that. But they are getting paid is why they're there. The pay outranks the ministry. The ministry makes it's a beautiful job to be able to get both.
No,
but they would not be doing it if they weren't getting paid.
Right? No, I get that. No, and I'm not defending that. Let me clarify. There is ways to have a job that pays you and still do the ministry.
For you mean do a separate entity,
right? Well, yeah, they could still be. They could still be. If the money went away, you have no money. I mean, you have money comes in to run the pay, but you don't get paid. None of the volunteers get paid. But if you did like. If for someone to say, "Oh, I can't do this, or I'm not getting paid," you can. You choose not to. You can go get a job that pays your bills. Got to do it nowadays, and still run your ministry if the money went away for that ministry.
No. I think you're missing what I'm saying, Freddie. I'm talking about these people that work at a food bank or work at a food pantry. That's their job,
right?
And that they say that's my minute. No, you're there because you get paid. Here's my always question to them. If you're saying you're there for a ministry, then do me a favor and don't get paid for a week. Let the church keep your money and you continue to do that job. I can't do that. I need the money. Then that's the point. You're there for the money. It's a bonus that you get to do what you do. 757-488-5299. It's a bonus if you get paid to counsel people rather than spend your evening working at a shelter counseling people for free. Now, you can work a job during the day and then spend 3 or 4 hours later counseling people for free or working at another food pantry. That's awesome if you do that. But most of the people that I know that get paid,
they don't do it
anymore. Only do what they do to get paid.
Right. They're only doing it because they're getting paid, right?
757-488-5299. 757-488-5299. Now, folks, next week, we're going to be taking and doing our lessons and carols. We do that every Sunday before Easter. It's a way for us to take a break. It's a way for us to celebrate. When we come back in the new year, Hartman Dentistry has hired a second dentist, and I cannot pronounce the person's name. So I'm not going to delve into it today. The idea is that we will let you know who that is. As Freddie's looking right now.
Oh, no. Yes, no.
We're not going to take a stab at it. But they now have a second dentist joining them at the practice due to the volume of you all who were listening going there to get your smile back. Think about this economy. Think about all the money that people are saying they don't have, and yet this business had to hire a second dentist to deal with all the needs that they have. That's because Hartman Dentistry cares about you as a person and making you smile again. They have financial plans. If finances are a problem, talk to them about it. Let them know. Again, I tell you, it's the first dentist I've ever been where I've never experienced pain whatsoever.
I love Hartman Dentistry. I'm just trying to get in. Maybe I can get in now.
If you call, tell them that you are listening to Picking Up the Habit. They will put you on a list and you will go to the top of that list. So when there are cancellations, they will call you to fill those slots. Now, the thing is, hopefully you're available at the time that they have. If you're not, well, they're at least trying to get you in. But the thing is, you want to go to Dr. Vanessa Hartman. Remember, folks, she's not just a DDS. She's a PhD of dentistry. She's the one that teaches the DDSs. She's may have taught your dentist.
Now that's a flex.
Wouldn't you much rather have the professor who not only knows the theory and the technique, but teaches that theory and technique? In fact, she's been published in the New England Journal of Medicine. She's a specialist. She has a practice in her office where she can get all the dental work done. She does her own in-house, and literally you can go in that morning and leave that afternoon with a brand new grill. She can do it all in a day. Now, to me, that's amazing. Freddie knows that I started out with one group. They yanked out all my teeth, and then
they dropped you.
Yeah.
Done with you.
But when I got back to Hartman, she was able to put me in and a smile. And folks, I have an upper set of dentures. I don't use that glue stuff.
Magnetics.
No. I don't have any magnets.
Wow.
It fits so well to my gum that I don't need to use anything. And I can still eat apples. I can still chew meat because my dentures fit so well. It's like magnets. You need to go in and see Dr. Vanessa Hartman. Brady, can you give their phone number?
Number is 757-873-3407. That is 757-873-3407. Are we going to commercial break now? Oh, okay.
I thought you did. My bad, folks.
Picking up the habit here on the Truth Radio Network, 96.9, 97.9, and 100.1 FM on your radio dial. You can catch us online at WPMHradio.com.
Mold, trash, rodents, snakeskin, even deceased animals. No, this isn't a Halloween shopping list. It's what might be under your house, in your crawl space. Schedule a free crawl space inspection with the Crawl Space Company and find out what's in your crawl space. Call 757-394-3494 to schedule your free inspection or visit thecrawlspacecompany.net. So, do you know what's in your crawl space?
Actual client review of Hartman Dentistry.
I just want to say that I just went to Dr. Hartman, and she is absolutely wonderful.
What did you think when you walked in? Did it just feel like it was a relaxing place to be?
Yes, it's very nice, very clean, very bright. You're not sitting in a room with just four walls. The room that I was in, you could see outside.
Did you have a wait before you walked in?
I was there maybe 15 minutes before I got into the office, and so I got in my chair, and then maybe another 30 minutes while the technician, did X-rays and all.
And so, are you going to go back and get your teeth fixed the way she says?
I'm going to try. I am going to try because I really trust her, and the only reason I went is because you thought so highly of her.
I got to tell you, I'm in love.
Give Hartman Dentistry a call at 757-873-3407.
Beach Radiator and Air Conditioning at 1776 Virginia Beach Boulevard offers a wide variety of services for heating and cooling systems on automobiles. Technicians are ASE and MAX certified. Pickup services are available, and most jobs are completed the same day. They're open from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. weekdays. Beach Radiator is owned and operated by Glenn Davis, and their phone number is 437-7800. Their website is beachradiator.com. Thanks to Beach Radiator for sponsoring.
Burn Foundation of Virginia is a 501c3 nonprofit organization in the city of Portsmouth, Virginia, that serves Hampton Roads-based expectant and single mothers between the ages of 18 and 35 who are homeless, living in poverty, or experiencing crisis. Since 2015, we have met our community's needs by providing transitional housing, financial education, and life skill support so that the mothers we serve leave our programs equipped for sustained success. We know that hope starts with you. Partner with Fern Foundation to make a difference in the lives of expectant and single mothers in need. Donate to help us maintain our program. If you can't donate, volunteer. Volunteers are needed. You are needed to help change lives. Call 757-381-9558 or email info@fernfoundationva.org to donate or to volunteer. Thank you.
You created the flowers, oh, and you numbered the sand. A year to you is just hours.
Folks, do we know who they are?
I don't know their name.
Okay, I'll have to look it up, folks. There's a group, and they're a cappella. Well, no, yeah, actually they were. They're not now. It's a brother duo, and they've taken today's songs and changed the lyrics.
Is it them?
Yeah, that's them.
The group's called One Common.
And that's what you just heard. Although it's not like taking another song that's currently circling the choir.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still out there.
Yeah. One Common. They're a musical band.
They started out as a family group and then ended up being the two of them. Look them up, One Common. So, folks, one of the things that we were talking about is, Matthew 25, giving shelter to the homeless, visiting those in the hospital and prison. This week is the week of longest night. It is the reason why Christmas is this time of year as well. It's the winter solstice. I believe it's the 21st, this Saturday.
Yeah, 21st.
Is the longest night. And every year in the Hampton Roads area, every city homeless, what we call consortium, celebrates in remembrance the homeless people who have died that year. We remember them on the 21st of December every year. And I can remember in January, we're going to be doing what's called a point in time count. And that is when all the housing groups, all the public departments of the cities of Hampton Roads are going to go out into the city where the homeless are, meet them in their camps to try to get them into the services that they need to be able to get out of the life they're living. And in order to do this, we need your help.
My help?
Yes. We need everybody's help on this. And this is going to be the first year that this has happened. I'm reaching out over the airwaves to the churches. Julie Dixon of the Planning Council is going to be here on the 12th. She represents all of the homeless groups in Hampton Roads. So on the peninsula, we're the Greater Virginia Peninsula Homeless Consortium. Norfolk has their own, Portsmouth has their own, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach each have their own. And on a day, I believe it's the 22nd of January, they're going to be going out into every single homeless camp that they can find in their city. And what I want is for you all to find us where these camps are. Everywhere people say, well, I would have told you that this camp is behind this store, or they're sleeping in the underpass. We want to know where they are. Here's why. That point in time count is used by each homeless consortium to send to DC to justify the money that we need to deal with homelessness in our cities. Yes, the more that we have, the easier it is to justify the money we need. But I don't care about the money. I want to make sure that the people know the services that are out there. And that was one of the families I had to deal with today. Folks, first of all, 757-488-5299. The people who died this week in Hampton Roads, I don't know all of them. But I can tell you that the reason why we know them is because they had reached out for services at some point. And here's something that I really, really need to impress upon my brothers and sisters. People who are homeless have a choice to make. If they want help, if they don't want help. I had somebody after church ask me about a gentleman who sits outside a shopping mall and he's got his dog and he's always asking for money. Well, I can tell you, he has not been able to get services because he has a pet. Now, if it's a, what do they call them, Freddie? Help me.
I don't know. What was
A
it?
guide dog, well, not a guide dog, but a guide dog, a service dog.
Oh, a service animal. Okay.
That's different. Okay, folks. Service animals are different. If somebody's homeless with a service animal, we can get them housing. But if somebody just has a pet, it's very difficult because the deposits that are needed for the pet, I mean, I got to tell you, next month, do you know what the most popular food item I will be asked for? Hint, we're
Ham.
talking about it.
Ham.
No, dog food.
Dog food. That makes sense.
Because people go out and get pets for their kids.
And they can't afford them.
Can't afford them. They can't afford the food to feed their family.
Right. Don't do that, folks. Don't do that.
And then you end up buying a pet, and 3 months later, your child's devastated because you got to give the pet up because you can't afford it.
Yeah, don't do that.
You can't get the shots. You can't get the medical care. You can't get the food. You're hurting your children, not helping them.
True story.
So this guy that's sitting on the side of a road with a dog, we can't get them into housing. I have a friend who will hold the animal for them, no cost. He can come over and visit the animal until he can afford to get his own place and afford the pet. But no, that's not what they want. And that's okay. That's a choice they make.
But it's a choice. People need to remember that.
That's what I'm trying to get through, folks. I will be asked, nobody wants to live like that. Unfortunately, there are a number.
I can testify that.
Maria?
Yeah.
Maria's been homeless now for 13 years
Years.
that I know of.
Yep.
Why?
I
The
can't,
lifestyle she wants to live.
I can't think of the name, but one of the originals, same thing. We tried to get him help how many times? He said, no, I don't want to.
They do not want. There are many, many reasons. Now, I already know somebody saying it right now. Well, then they must be mentally ill and we need to get the mentally ill help. No, that's not true. There are many people who live out off the wilderness because they don't want to deal with taxes. They don't want to deal with utilities. They don't want to deal with anything. We had a gentleman that lived in the monastery for 2 years, traversed the entire United States. He had a pup tent. He would find a spot in the woods, most often in the little round areas of the highway. You know, when you exit the highway, there's all those trees.
Yeah.
He'd put a little camo tent up, dig a little hole, take care of business, sleep there, and then he'd do yard work during the day for money.
Nice. Hey, that's
He did it for 2 years. He was 21 years old. It was his choice.
I don't know if I'd walk it, but I'd do it. Like I got nothing holding me back now.
So if that's what a person wants, they can do that. Now, there are plenty of situations where people don't want to be. But here's the thing, folks. Here's my biggest thing. In order to receive assistance, you have to be what we call compliant. Example. Somebody comes to me at Five Loaves, tells me they're homeless, and my first response is, have you called the housing crisis hotline? Every city has one. No, I haven't. Well, I need you to call the housing crisis hotline. I don't want to. Okay, well, then I can't help you. Why not? Because the housing crisis hotline is the way to get in the door to be able to get help. You've got to call the crisis hotline to get in the door.
My favorite. It'll take too long.
And it might. Single males are harder to house than a woman with kids. A woman with kids is harder to house if the kids are all in their teens versus a woman who has a newborn infant. It's the facts of life. But you have to be compliant. I have women who come in and they tell me, I'm sleeping in my car. Okay, I need you to go to the winter shelter tonight. No, I'm not going to the shelter. Ma'am, I need you to go to the shelter. That's where the help is. I'm not going to the shelter. If you don't go to the shelter, we can't get you help. Well, I want them to put me up in an apartment. Well, then you need to go to the shelter. I'm not doing that. Volunteer comes up later. Why were you so insistent about her going to shelter? Because that's where the people are who put them up in a hotel. But if you're going to sit there and tell me you're not going to do this, we're not going to bother to put you up in a hotel, because guess what? You're not going to go out and try and find a place for yourself to live because you're comfortable living in a hotel. And that becomes the cycle. It's vicious. But this Saturday, we remember those, whether they made the choice or not, that have died. It will be reported on the news. I can tell you at one point 4 years ago, 5 years ago, it was before COVID, two of my friends, they were actually a group of 5 people, went out and they were doing the point in time count. And they went to a homeless camp that they knew about. Nobody had seen the guy for a while. And when they got there, he was deceased. He had died. And he had died so long ago that he had mold growing over his eyes. My friends broke down. This was a man that we all knew.
All new.
And the idea that he died and nobody knew about it for weeks was very disturbing to us. So this Saturday, if you'll remember, call your city, call the planning council, find out where your city celebration is. The Greater Virginia Peninsula Consortium will be at Fox Run Baptist Church, I believe. And one of the things that we do is we follow what the military does. We put a set of boots or shoes or even booties to represent those people who have died while homeless. The thing that's interesting to me is I've called down to the CDC to find out how many people in the United States die due to hunger, starve to death. And every year when I call, it's less than 50. And almost all of them are senior citizens who have died in their homes alone. Nobody on the street dies of hunger. They die of cold. They die of overdose. Sometimes they die of trauma. What are we as Christians doing about it? That's the call to action. Now, churches, you can reach out and help your homeless consortium. In Five Loaves, when anybody needs support, our partner churches call me. My first question, have they called the Housing Crisis Hotline? Yeah, they did. They said they couldn't help. All right, bring them by my office. Let's talk to them. Now, the first issue, 757-488-5299. 757-488-5299. Are they homeless? Well, yeah, they're sleeping at their friend's house. Guess what, folks?
They're not homeless.
No, they're not. Yeah, but they don't have their own place. Well, that doesn't mean they're homeless.
I mean, if that classification, I'm homeless.
Exactly.
I don't.
You rent a room.
Right.
Homeless for adults are sleeping in a place that is not meant to be slept in. Hey, Brother Tim, can you help this family? They're homeless. Where are they staying? Extended stay. They've been there for 2 years. They're not homeless.
They may be broke based on how much it costs, but they're not homeless.
Right. They're not homeless. They sleep in a car. Oh, okay. Well, have them come on by and we can get the paperwork started. Wait, you told me they sleep in a car. They do. That's an RV. That's not homeless. So the first thing is, are they homeless? Are they truly homeless? They call the Housing Crisis Hotline, and then I am able to look up their record. And many, many, many times. For 7 years, this person's been homeless. They started out in Virginia Beach, and they helped them. Then they went to Portsmouth, and then they helped them. Then they went to Norfolk, and then they helped them. And now they've been in Newport News, and now they're moving to Williamsburg. Guess what, folks? That's not a person who wants to be helped.
No, they enjoy being homeless.
That is their job, being homeless. We can help people, but they have to want to help themselves. One of the things that we will not do is find them a place to live. I can tell you from experience, it goes like this. Hey, look at this apartment. What do you think? I don't want to live in this neighborhood. But look at this. I'm not living here. Okay. Hey, what do you think? This is in the neighborhood you like. Look at this. It's too small. We're not going to spend our time looking for a place for somebody to live. They can find their own place that they can afford once they're working. But folks, we're not going to pay for their housing on and on and on and on. We're helping them. We're not supporting them. Now, if they're mentally ill and they have a problem living on their own, that's a totally different story. requires the involvement of our mental health services of each city. But the key thing I want you to know is this Saturday, we remember those who have died when they were homeless. Help us reduce the number of homeless in Hampton Roads. Help us reduce the number of youth that are homeless. By youth, I'm talking about those under 21. And I'm going to hit you with an even harder statistic. Most of those youth that are homeless are part of that alphabet soup group, LGBTQ. I just ran into two young ladies who were homeless, sleeping in their car, drove to Virginia from West Virginia, where they had both been viciously beaten. Families said they would not have that in their house. They moved out here to be with an aunt who said she would welcome them, and the aunt slammed the door in their face.
Can we officially say as a show that that is not okay?
That's not okay.
Regardless, you can not again not be okay with the sin, but that is not okay because they sin. That is not what we're called to do as Christians.
And
Still.
when they came in to get food, I knew automatically in my spirit what happened. And we spoke for a while and they got a little bit skitsy. But I had picked up enough information that I found where they were later that evening. And I had an agency on the phone who would be able to help them. See, we have agencies for special needs. And by special needs, I'm not talking just the mentally ill. Domestic violence, whether you're man or woman, if you're being beaten up by a spouse or a significant other, get out. If you've got kids, do it for them. LGBTQ, people who are chronically ill. We as Christians need to be less judgmental and more loving. It always amazes me when I hear hate the sin, but love the sinner. Brady, you hear it all the time. I know I hear it all the time.
I sort of just said it.
Yeah. But we only love some sinners.
Oh, you know how I feel about that one.
We pick and choose which sinners we want to love.
Mhm.
Like, I won't love somebody that's of the LGBTQ because that's an abomination before God. But my best friend goes out, and man, he was at a party this weekend and he ran up a body count that was.
My single pastor who's dating someone. We're okay with that. Let me stop. We got 3 minutes.
I sure hope they're not listening, folks. Sometimes. But
I'm just
the point
saying.
is, this Sunday, I want you to pray for those that are homeless in Hampton Roads. And then when we come back on the 5th, we'll begin talking about the point in time count even more.
No, we'll be here the 29th. We're not here next week.
Yeah, but I won't be here.
You won't be here the 29th, but
That's
I'll
right.
be here.
We'll talk on the 5th.
We got a special episode about mental health on the 29th.
Yep. Leads to what we're going to talk about on the 5th. More homelessness. All right? So, folks, here's the deal. This Saturday, mark your time, almost 7 o'clock every night. There will be, in one of the cities, a memorial service for those who have died. Maybe you know somebody. remember those. And my phrase always on every longest night celebration is there, but for the grace of God, go I. If it wasn't for God's grace, I do not know where I would be right now. Thank you all for listening. This is Brother Tim and Freddie. You're listening to Picking Up the Habit. We're here every Sunday from 3 until 4 p.m. You can always call, leave us program ideas, 757-488-5299. Leave them on the answering machine.
We hope you all have a great Christmas. Please definitely check us out next Sunday. We'll be playing our Bells and Carols annual episode. If you've never heard it, you definitely want to check it out, regardless of what denomination you are. It's a really great hour.
It's just a matter of scripture and hymns.
And your beautiful angelic voice.
Oh, well, thank you on that.
All
I'm
right.
taking that as a compliment.
Y'all have a great Christmas.
Bye-bye.